So this is July 24th. 24th? Yes. And that means it is National Tequila Day. So what are we going to do? Well, we're going to drink some tequila, obviously. And despite this being a tiki show, we are going to do some margaritas. I'm going to show you a couple of different margaritas. And then we are going to cross over into the tiki world, and we're going to mix rum and tequila and make a 1960s era drink called the Vicious Virgin Mark II. And we're going to do that. And we're going to play around a little bit with some of our margarita stuff and see how that goes. But first of all, we need to toast. So I got a couple of glasses here, and we're going to reach for some good tequila. So I have this Roca Patron. It's an Añejo tequila. It was got a number of years ago for me, and it's quite yummy. Now, we are not nearly the tequila aficionados as we are the rum aficionados. And truth be told, we have recently gotten much more into the other stuff. No, agave plants. Mezcal. Duh, wow. It's going to be a little slow on me tonight.
Amanda says shots.
Shots. Yep.
Yeah. We have Colleen.
Yay. Okay, so we're going to just do a little bit of some good tequila here. That smells yummy.
That does smell yummy.
So this is Añejo. So this is the oldest of the age markings for tequila. So it's silver, blanco, whatever.
Reposado.
No, with Joven, etc.
Right.
And then it's Reposado.
Right.
And then the last is Añejo. None of the other age statements really mean anything, so you can extra Añejo. It's Añejo. They might mean that it's older than their normal Añejo, but there's no regulation on that, so you can't really tell, extra Añejo or anything else.
Turn that light down a little bit.
Who's eating what over there? We have cats, so they eat things. Or something's burning or something, I don't know. Anyway, actually, nothing's burning.
Nothing's burning. We have to fix that.
We have to fix that. I love having the incense for a little bit of ambiance around here. So we have a couple of things to toast this evening. And my lovely wife will be figuring out the things that she needs to get burning. And then she will be joining us for a toast. I'm going to put that there and put this here. Sadly noted, about 6 o'clock or so, 5:30 or so, we had dinner, and then both of us ended up taking a nap. So we're a little slow getting going. One of the things that you want... This. One of the things that we wanted to toast this evening is the fact that today was also the last day of the Tour de France. And so it was a great Tour de France this year.
The men's.
Excuse me. It was the men's Tour de France, which is actually important this year because they are reinstating the women's tour this year, so that we will, in fact, have a women's tour starting up, I think, tomorrow. And I must say, in my ignorance, I am much more familiar with men's professional cycling than I am women's professional cycling.
Tour de France has not run in 15 years
or
something like that.
Yeah, so they've had other races, but they haven't done that. So we would like to salute the men's Tour de France. I think we should salute the overall winner, Jonas Vingegaard, who was second last year, and this year is the yellow jersey. We should salute Teddy Pogacar, who is number 2 this year. He was number 1 the previous 2 years and won.
And you said that over the course of 2 years, the difference in their time...
Right. So they've been 1-2 and then 2-1 the last 2 years.
Right.
And the difference over 4,000 miles of these two guys racing each other, obviously with their teams behind them and everything else, is less than 100 seconds. Across 2 tours. So, pretty much looking forward to a lot of competition between these guys coming forward. Wout van Aert on the same team as Vingegaard, who won the sprint competition, the green jersey, and set a new points total for the green jersey this year. So he was 5 stages out, and nobody could catch him in terms of the sprint points. I think it was more than that.
Does he not show? Oh,
Yeah,
shows a little bit.
he shows
Okay.
barely. It depends on the angle that
Okay.
we're looking at. And
The mountains guy.
and then
That isn't the mountains guy.
right. So unfortunately, Geshka, who had led the King of the Mountains competition for most of the race, lost it in the last couple of days. And he did get to ride into Paris wearing the polka dot jersey, but it's not actually his. The reason for that is because the winner of the race, Vindigo, is now actually the King of the Mountains because
Right, and they couldn't wear 2 jerseys.
and can't wear 2 jerseys, right? So we should celebrate the end of the tour of fantastic achievements, and also tomorrow. We celebrated it yesterday, but his birthday is actually tomorrow. Is my good friend Tony Johnson,
Yay, Tony!
who's turning the big 50 this
Yeah?
year. So,
So we went
there
to
we
his
go.
party
We went
last
to his
night.
party last night. So to all of you, cheers.
Oh, we have the Tommy's 50th.
We do. I pulled out the appropriate shot glasses.
Tony?
Here's to Tony. We're shooting tequila. We're not shooting tequila. We're drinking tequila out of Tommy's shot glasses. Tommy's is a celebrated bar in San Francisco
that we went to.
That we've been to. We picked up shot glasses during their 50th year of being in business, and Tommy's is actually incredibly important for bringing tequila into the United States. And there is, in fact, a style of margarita that is named specifically after Tommy's because of the bartenders there and how they put together a margarita. And that is, in fact, the first margarita we're going to do this evening. So it is not a standard margarita, but it is called Tommy's Margarita. And if you order a Tommy's Margarita, most good bartenders will know what you're talking about. And then we're going to play around and make some other margaritas. And then finally, we're going to end up with the split base Vicious Virgin number 2, which uses tequila and rum together with a whole bunch of other things, very much in the Tiki vein. So let me taste this. Let me move some of this out of the way in terms of smoke, and then...
Let's see. Greg Terry says, hi, Pooch, Star, and Cats.
Hey, speaking of cats, try to not knock over my recipe board, because that would be bad. That's a little hard for me to see when it's on the floor.
Your mother, who we get to see this week.
Yeah, Mom's coming to visit.
Says
Excellent.
Margaritas and Mama.
Yeah, yes.
Es muy viejo.
Is very old? What?
Yes.
Okay. Hey, glad to know that my high school Spanish is paying off. My college Spanish didn't.
Elizabeth says naps are good.
Naps are good, but...
Colleen says I like naps.
Yes, but it did put me a little behind in preparation today.
Dana says hello.
Dana! Hey, is Russ around somewhere, maybe? I don't know.
Amanda says that's crazy. I think that's about the 100 seconds.
About 100 seconds,
Brooke
yeah.
says, ooh, what did we miss? Ooh, tour talk. Yay.
Tour talk, yes.
Keith says, greetings. I need to sip some tequila to get in the spirit.
All right, so happy everyone! Yay! Thank you all for tuning in and giving us a couple of words to know that you're here. And this looks like a nice episode. We got a bunch of people here, including some folks we haven't heard from for a while, like Dana. Awesome, and Brooke's back, and it's very cool. Yes, I'm just happy you guys are tuning in. So let's see what we can do here. Tommy's Margarita. Tommy's Margarita is completely simple. Very easy to do, and it emphasizes, heavy emphasis on the quality of the tequila. And at Tommy's, if you just order a margarita, this is what you're going to get. And if you don't specify the tequila, you're going to get it made with a Reposado tequila. So that's how we're going to make it. So first of all, it's 1 ounce of agave nectar. So this is just blue agave nectar. This is, it's like a syrup. But it is made from the agave plant, and it complements the flavor of tequila very, very well, and that's why we use it in our margaritas. A lot of bars, even if they don't do a Tommy's Margarita, will often use, well, higher quality cocktail bars will often use agave syrup. And when we go to make our passel of other tequilas, we're going to use some agave syrup in those as well. All right, so full ounce of that. Now, to make things simple, so you can remember it, it's 1 ounce of lime juice to go with this. So 1 ounce, right? It's following me so far. Here's an ounce of lime juice. Maybe a little short on lime juice this evening. We'll see how things go. And then we need 2 ounces. Yes, 2 ounces of a Reposado tequila. And I happen to have the El Tesoro Reposado tequila right here. Good quality tequila. Not brilliant, but this is going to be great in a cocktail. So here we go. We're going to go there. Put that in there. And Tommy's does not serve their margaritas in the traditional sort of margarita large coupe kind of thing. They actually serve them in pretty much a rocks glass like this. And so we're going to do that. I have a bowl here, right here, and I have a lime. I'm going to serve this with some lime. So I need to cut this. What do I do with my knife? My knife's over here. Not my knife as in I only have one knife. I have plenty of knives. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, so what are we going to do? I'm going to cut a slice of lime here.
Like we have Christine.
Hey, Christine.
David's making dinner.
Ah. I'm going to add a little lime juice to the rim of this glass, like such. And then I'm going to take some flake kosher sugar, like that, and we're just going to put that on the outside of the glass. And you can be as careful with this or as not careful as you want with putting the salt on the rim. This is not particularly a great job, but I don't really care. So there you go. All right, you can see, yep. Ta-da. So we're going to set that aside, set this aside, set that aside. We're just going to put some ice in here. We're going to shake this up, strain it out, scoop. So if you're following along, we've got 2 ounces tequila, 1 ounce of lime, 1 ounce of sweetener in here. 1, 1, 2. Easy peasy. We're going to lid this up. Shake it. Just like that. And then we're going to strain this. Hawthorn. That's what I'm looking for. Like, where's my hawthorn? And we're going to put that right in this glass, just like that. And if you want it any colder, I like to serve them just like this. But if you want it any colder, you can always pop a couple of ice cubes in there. There you go. A lot of people like a straw with this, so they don't have to get their...
Sugar or salt?
I'm sorry, this is salt. Did I say sugar? If I said sugar, I was incorrect. Okay, so this just goes right there. One. It's always a good idea to leave a portion of the rim, if you're going to salt it, that is unsalted, in case your patron would like to drink from an unsalted rim. Some people are really upset about making sure you don't get salt inside the rim, but salt is a flavor enhancer, so a couple of salt flakes sitting inside your drink isn't going to do it any harm, and in fact probably make it even taste better. So there we go. This is a classic Tommy's Margarita made with El Tesoro, which is kind of a standard tequila for Tommy's, actually.
Yeah. Also, it's good to leave one section unsalted if somebody's got a cut on their lip, so they can work around that and not have salt cut on their lip.
I'm liking that. Isn't that tasty?
That is so good.
So that's Tommy's. Tommy's really, really easy to do.
Yeah. So if you visit Tommy's, which has great Mexican food,
yeah. Don't tell them Star and Pooch sent you,
No,
because they won't have any idea who we are.
clue who we are. But you're sitting at the table and you order your margaritas and your food. Be sure and walk up to the bar. At the bar every day, they have what they call their bottle of the day, which is some usually odd or old or hard to find or something, or not available in this area, bottle of tequila, and you can buy shots out of the bottle of the day. And
sometimes that's quite tasty,
Yeah.
or can be quite tasty. I mean,
Yeah.
usually, I mean, they're not going to serve you bad tequila in any case.
No.
But, yep.
it's yummy.
When the margarita
Do you need
first,
these rinses?
I do. When the margarita first came to the United States, there was not a lot of good tequila in the United States, and Tommy's is partially responsible for making sure good tequila got introduced to the United States, starting on the West Coast and making it in. And nowadays, we have a lot of different tequila choices and even more agave spirit choices, including gins made from agave, which is kind of interesting. So
I feel like a professional bar here, having rinsed these out and set up your
right,
stack
yeah. If you set them just like that,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
even better, right? Yep. You'll see a lot of your professional bar setups that will have their cocktail shakers set like this, so that they can just do this and go, and they don't take up as much space as having them sitting like this. Or you can do this. Either way. Anyway, all right. So there you go. That is a standard Tommy's Margarita. You can play around with this as much as you want. In terms of, I wouldn't change up the lime juice. I wouldn't change up. Well, you can play around with the tequila. Obviously, use whatever tequila you want. Play around, see what you like for tequilas, because this is just a base recipe. But
So we have a question.
the sugar component of this, the sweet component, the agave, while the typical Tommy's Margarita uses agave syrup, you can play with that as much as you want in using different sweet ingredients. And what we're going to do actually for the Margarita, not the sort of standard margarita, is we're going to play around with some of the different spirits syrups, instead of just using agave. Star says that we have questions.
Amanda asks.
Can
you give a description between the differences between Añejo and Reposado?
Yes, number of years that they are rested in barrels. And I think, I don't remember the exact number of years.
Tequila Reposado is aged 2 to 12 months in oak barrels. It has a smooth flavor and notes of oak, vanilla, and caramel. Tequila Añejo is aged 1 to 4 years in oak barrels.
One or more years. It's not 1 to 4. They can age it longer than that and still be Añejo.
Yeah. Reposado is up to a year, 2 months to 12 months.
Right. Anything under 2 months is, of course, silver or unaged, or Joven. You usually see Joven describing tequila, mezcal as opposed to tequila, but essentially the same thing.
Colleen was wondering if kosher sugar was a new trendy thing.
No.
Dana has said sugar instead of salt.
Oh, I'm
Dana
sorry.
said if I had to choose one cocktail to be my favorite, it would be a Tommy's Margarita.
Yeah.
Wish I had one now. Dana, you guys should come visit. I know we don't live on a mountain. I know we live in a city.
I know we live on the other side of the
And we
country.
live on the other side of the country. But, you guys could come here and have drinks.
I can totally make you Tommy's Margaritas all day long. That's not a problem.
Freddie said if the training center cooperate, we'll be in Alexandria. Looking forward to everything. Margaritas are pretty much on the top of the preferred drink list. Would sugar change their taste much?
Yes, it would make it awfully sweet. If you wanted to do a sugar-rimmed margarita, I don't think there's any problem with that, but I would just be very careful about making sure that whoever is drinking it knows that you've sugar-rimmed it, and make sure that you only rim like half the glass, because it may be off-putting to some to have that extra sweetness. Or if you have somebody that is like, wow, I don't like margaritas because they're too sour, sure, do that. But again, give them the option of being able to drink from someplace on the glass that isn't either sugar or salt rimmed. I did misspeak. It is, in fact, generally a salt rim. I can't remember a circumstance where I've had one with a sugar rim. But and this is sea salt, by the way, sea salt flakes.
Amanda says that she can go make herself a Tommy's because she has the ingredients.
Well, then you should go do that. So what are we going to do now? We're going to do a standard, a Cadillac margarita. So what the difference between a Cadillac margarita and a regular margarita is the orange liqueur that you use in it. You'll note with the Tommy's margarita, there was no orange in it at all. But for the standard margarita, there is generally an orange-flavored spirit added to this. So we're going to start with the straight-up standard Margarita. This is a recipe from Ed Meehan, but it is pretty standard. So there's a 1/4 ounce of agave syrup. And this is going to be our baseline for tasting different margaritas. And then we're going to go 3/4 of an ounce of a sweeter orange liqueur, in which case we are going to do the Cadillac version of this, which uses Grand Marnier in that size. Usually it's Cointreau, it could be triple sec, could be Curacao, but we're going to go with Grand Marnier. 3/4 of an ounce. So there you go. There's 1 ounce sweet, but not quite as sweet as if we had gone with the full agave syrup, because the Grand Marnier is not as sweet as agave syrup. So to balance that out, we're going to go 3/4 of an ounce of lime juice, right? Because it's not as sweet as the Tommy's base.
Now we have a discussion going on.
There's 3/4 of an ounce of lime juice.
Whether or not sugar needs to be certified as kosher is actually quite the debate.
Really? Sugar being certified as kosher. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Whether it needs to be certified.
Can be certified?
Whether it, basic, it is. I don't know.
I don't know. Not my speciality. I'm sure Tony could tell me. All right, so now we need 2 ounces of tequila. So what we have here is 1 ounce of sweet that is split between the agave syrup and the Grand Marnier, and 3/4 of an ounce of lime juice, and now 2 ounces of tequila. So it looks very much like the Tommy's Margarita, just splitting the sweet base and cutting a little bit back on the sour base because it's not as sweet. So 2 ounces. We are going to go ahead and use the... what tequila do I want to use? I think what I should use is this. We're going to go with another Reposado, but we're going to go with Patron. Patron has a little cleaner flavor. I don't think it's as interesting. It's definitely, there's no mistaking it though, that is in fact tequila. It's a little different from the Tesoro, but not a whole lot. Okay. Same basic process. We are going to put some ice in here, we're going to shake it up, and then we're going to pour it in a glass. Ta-da. There we go. One pretty standard Cadillac margarita. If you order a Cadillac margarita in most restaurants and they're using a higher quality tequila like Patron Reposado, this is going to be what you're going to get. It's something along these lines. I'm going to go ahead and put this in a coupe. Why? I don't know. Feel like it? Same thing we did last time. Put a little lime juice on there. Roll that in our salt flakes. Like such. There we go. Strain this off the one. There you go. This is obviously not an on the rocks because there's no rocks in it. But this is a standard Cadillac margarita.
Reposado.
The
Amanda says, ooh, crunchy.
ooh, crunchy.
And
The salt.
Colleen says, I need to buy better tequila.
We all need to buy better tequila. Brooke, do you happen to have good tequila? That's a dig at Brooke, who bought some really good tequila a couple years back, and still has it. So we need to drink more of Brooke's tequila, I think, is what.
She got that from our friends at SNR.
Yeah, so here is standard straight Margarita. You can definitely tell the orange in there.
Yeah.
Right?
So, I've never had a Tommy's and a Standard like back to back right next to each other.
Mm-hmm.
I really love my Tommy's Margarita.
The Tommy's Margarita is going to let the tequila shine through a little more because the agave spirit, the agave syrup is just a cleaner syrup flavor than adding the Cointreau, Curacao, Grand Marnier, whatever you're adding to that for the orange flavor. I don't mind the orange flavor in a margarita, but I also don't mind it when I don't have it.
Right?
And especially if you were going to play around with other syrups, like flavored syrups,
you want to go a base.
You want to probably go with like a Tommy's construction on this as opposed to this, because otherwise you're mixing orange into that flavor.
Right.
So, for instance, I'm going to do another one of these, but I am going to do it using a couple of different types of syrup.
Oh, okay.
And I'm going to go back to the Tommy's recipe to do those, unless for some reason I go, you know what this needs? This needs an orange note to it, right?
Right.
But that's what we're going to do. So part of that is that I've got a bunch of syrups lying around and would like to play around with them.
Yeah. I'm going to leave you that one.
You're going to leave me?
I still have some Tommy's.
Okay. So do you want to clean these out?
Yep. Of course I do.
We'll do that. I do have other shakers, but this is my new favorite shaker because it's got the Tiki markings on it and everything, so it's cool. She's going to set those to dry, and I'm going to reach over and grab other portions. Yeah, so we can just do like such. Does occur to me that there is a reason for putting the smaller one inside the larger one, as opposed to doing that the other way around. In most professional bars, what they're doing with their cocktail shakers is they are just rinsing them. So they are using the same sort of spigot thing that we have where you just slam it down on there and it shoots water up into it and rinses it out. Okay, they do that with both sides. If you were to put the smaller one on top, it forms a seal here and the water from the top one can't get out. Whereas if you do it this way, then the water can actually drain out from both onto the bar mat. So there you go. That would be my guess as to why we go smaller than larger. Don't know. I could ask a professional bartender and they could probably tell me. But we're not going to do that at the moment because there aren't any currently online. So what are we going to do? We are going to reach over. We're going to grab some other sweetish concoctions. In fact, the first thing I'm going to start with is I'm going to be a bad bartender here. I have this lime cordial that I have made from sugar and lime peels. That's essentially all that's in here. And what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to cheat, and we are going to cut straight to the chase. We're going to add tequila to this because this has both sweetness and lime juice in there. I'm going to add a little bit of lime juice just because I think it needs to be tartaned up just a tad. But we're going to go with that. That's it. That's all we're going to do. I could... Ooh, let me do that as well. I think that's a good idea. I'll be right back. All of the various syrups that you can get from manufacturers, or make yourself, like the passion fruit syrup and that sort of thing, you could try those in margaritas and see how they work for you. The other day, we did, for a couple of weeks ago, last week, I did an acid-corrected version of pineapple juice.
Whoa.
So since this has got the tartness of lime juice, or more likely a lemon juice, What I'm going to try and do is make a pineapple one, and I'm going to see if I can make this work. And I'm also going to use the lime cordial to make one. So we'll see how this goes. Let's do the pineapple here and the lime cordial on this side. I think that'll work. Yep. Okay. What do I want to do? How do I want to do this? We're going to go lime juice, building off the Tommy's margarita. This would be 2 ounces, but I think that's going to be a little much. So I am going to go, why would it be 2 ounces? Because this has both the lime juice and the sweetener in it. But I think I want to tart it up just a little bit. So I'm going to go 1/4 ounce of lime juice in this to start with.
Could you use the orange cordial instead of
Sure, sure. Play. I mean, here we are operating off of a base recipe for a margarita or Tommy's margarita, and then playing around with it. So, all right. There's one. So I want a full 2 ounces of sweet and sour into this cocktail. So that means 1/4 ounce of lime juice and then 1 3/4 ounces of the lime cordial. And then we'll go 2 ounces of tequila. And sure, let's use the Patron. See how much of the Patron we can use up here. 2 ounces of the Patron. For this one, hey, I have to taste this. Apple juice definitely tastes like pineapple. It is not quite as tart as I remember it being when I first made it with the citric acid. So I think we're going to have to add some lime juice to this as well. So let's do that. I'm going to go 1/4 ounce. We're going to get fancy here. We're going to play around. There's 1/4 ounce of lime juice. I'm going to go 1/4 ounce of the agave syrup. And here I'm just using my taste buds to try and get the balance of sweet and sour together. We'll see how successful I am. So now we need 1/2 ounce. There's 1 full ounce. And there's my 2nd ounce. Okay. So right, there's the pineapple. The cordial's on the other side. There. Right, 2 ounces of tequila now in here. Like, where am I again? Yep, 2 ounces of tequila. This is why you always put your cheap ingredients in first. Because if you forget what cheap ingredients you put in, you can always throw it away. But if you started with 2 ounces of good tequila, now you're host. Right? It's like, I don't know what to do. Little tip, don't store your metal ice scoop in with your ice, because the ice just sticks to the scoop. It makes it really hard to do what you want to do. All right, so didn't miss anything, we're good. We've got roughly 2 ounces of sweet and roughly 2 ounces of sweet and sour and 2 ounces of tequila in each one of these. And we're going to shake them up and we're going to stick them in glasses. And I'm not going to bother this time with salting the rim. I don't need that. That's a shot glass. I need one of those. There we go. All right. Like that. Shake this. And then we're going to shake this. Well, that's bizarre. That's an interesting flavor. I'm not sure that's going to work for us, but we'll find out. Okay. Lime cordial margarita. Right here. I think that's way too sweet. I needed to add more straight up lime juice to that. That's going to go there for my dear wife. And this, same thing.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Dana said, ask and receive. Thanks, Russ.
Oh, did she get a drink?
Yeah, she got tummies.
Excellent. All right. That there. There's your work for you. Okay, so we have these attempts just trying to balance out. I don't think either one of these is going to be as tart as we want them. I think, if my guess is right,
That's out of balance.
it's too sweet. But this tastes like some of the... If I piled a bunch of ice in here, this would taste an awful lot like some of the margaritas that you get at some of the chain stores.
Yes.
Not a Mexican restaurant, but a chain. You know what I'm talking about.
Right?
You know, some fruit.
That's kind of fun.
Some kind of fruit. When I said fruit, you know, fruit bees or fruit wasps. That
Right.
kind of restaurant.
Right.
You know, orange wasp. Orange wasps. Applebee's.
I know what you mean.
So what do you think? The pineapple?
It's kind of fun.
Mm-hmm. Still out of balance.
Still out of balance.
The pineapple juice also gives it a foam,
Mm-hmm.
which is weird. Again, I think this needs more lime juice to it. The citric acid gives it a lemon flavor, or makes it reminiscent of lemon. But the basic premise holds here. You can play around with whatever syrup you want. I didn't want to go too heavy on the lime with this one. I should have, just because it's a lime syrup to begin with. Here, I'm flying a little blind because, like I said, because it's citric acid balanced pineapple juice. I was unsure how much lime to put in there to get this right. I think both of these would benefit from greater dilution, so putting these over ice would work well. Neither one is crisp like your margaritas typically are. They're a little muddied. So I'm going to have to redeem myself and try something else. I'm pretty sure Star will drink one or the other of these.
Yeah.
But that's not going to be a problem. My guess is she'll like the pineapple one better than the lime cordial one.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So we're going to do this. Let's see if we can correct that a little bit. So this is what I get for making cocktails without testing them at a time. Also, like I said, the pineapple juice will cause a foam on your cocktails, which foam on a margarita seems wrong, right? So you just want to be careful about that. Maybe double straining would help with that, but not necessarily. Yeah, this is why bartenders stopped using sweet and sour as a mix. And it's so hard to balance this exactly right when you only have one proportion of sweet and sour. I just added a bunch more lime juice to this. It's better. It's not great. I'll go back to my original margarita here.
Susie Halo loves the honorific "my dear wife."
She absolutely is my dear wife. She's not your dear wife. Well, she could be, I suppose. Depends on what kind of society we lived in.
Amanda likes that you're making stuff you haven't tried before. It's nice to get honest reactions.
Occasionally, it does provoke a reaction that I really don't want to see from my wife. I've seen that stink face before. Hopefully, we don't get one on this cocktail, which we're going to try another one here. I'm going to try a different syrup. Where is the thing? All right, we're going to go here. We are reaching for the hibiscus tea syrup, this red hibiscus tea syrup that I made the other day from the tea gifted to us by Zach and Amy, because they knew that we had come down with COVID and that was bad. So, all right, here we go. We're going to go a full ounce of this hibiscus tea. If I had any of the strawberry syrup left over, I would use that, but the strawberry syrup has been sitting too long in my fridge, and it doesn't have enough strawberry oomph left to it, and there's kind of a dusty metallic-y flavor to it, so it got pitched out of here. So if you're keeping track here, I did 1 ounce of sweet and 1 ounce of sour. That's the lime juice here. Next up, 2 ounces of tequila. What did I do with my tequila? Let's see whether or not
Okay.
apparently our dear system here felt left out because we weren't talking to her. That's fine. We don't have to talk to her. All right, so there's one ounce of sweet, 1 ounce of sour, 2 ounces of tequila, Reposado, Patrons. Yes?
Brooke says, can we talk about how great limes are? So good in so many drinks.
Limes are just awesome. Limes are great. Limes are the single most prevalent ingredient in tiki cocktails. They are more present than rum is, which I find impressive.
She also says, don't get lime on your juice on your skin and go out in the sun.
No, do not do that.
Burn badly.
Do not do that. If you didn't hear that, that is, don't. If you are working with a lot of citrus, make sure you rinse off, scrub off the citrus juice before you go outside in the sun. It does precipitate sunburn really pretty badly, and my understanding is that the UV from the sun actually reacts with the acid, so you wind up with this combination of sunburn and light acid burn, which is really no bueno. So, would you like the no bueno? There we go. How do we do here? Ooh. Ooh. Oh, that's really interesting. Interesting in a good way. Not interesting in like the last 6 years of our lives. Interesting. Totally different color because of the red syrup. I'm actually going to take some salt and just drop it in here because I want a little saltiness to this. Oh, a little saltiness. Stick the knife in there, just swirl this around. So this is a hibiscus tea margarita made in the Tommy style. That's a pleasure. Yeah, that's really good.
That's yummy. That's what a flavored tequila margarita should be, not the last two things we've had, which is what you often get.
Right, which are much more heavy on the sweet side of things. This is not. But this is also a tart syrup because it's the hibiscus. But I do think, even with this, that a little more lime juice in this wouldn't hurt it.
Wouldn't hurt it. But it's yummy.
So you're going to drink that one?
I am.
Okay.
I'm taking this one away.
Okay. So there you go. So you can play around with this basic concept as much as you want. If you really wanted to, you could take something like a cinnamon syrup or a spice syrup, or a fig syrup, something along those lines, and make a cocktail using tequila. I would go generally with an añejo in that case instead of a younger tequila, just because those are sort of deeper, more mellow flavors. And I think you'd want that. You'd want that to mesh. You don't want a young, bright tequila with those kinds of flavors. But you can play around. I mean, you could use orgeat for it. And in fact, the next cocktail that we're going to do is a tiki cocktail that implies that utilizes. Yeah, that's what we're trying to say. Oh,
Your mom says no bueno es muy malo.
no bueno es muy malo. Kind of by definition, yes. Where was I? Oh, right, tiki cocktail that uses both rum and tequila in its base. And it actually uses orgeat as well, which you wouldn't normally think of tequila and orgeat going together well. I mean, that almond flavor probably doesn't mesh too well with tequila. And I gotta say, I'm a little hesitant here because this specifically calls for light rum and a lighter tequila. So I'm scratching my head just a little bit on how well that's going to play with the orgeat. But it's also got things like blue curacao in it and grapefruit juice. So this is new territory for me. We will see. Okay, it may not be entirely new territory. There is a chance that we've done the Vicious Virgin before, or at least the Vicious Virgin number 2 beforehand. Because I think we've done other tiki-inspired episodes. We're approaching 120. Forgive me for not remembering what all of the episodes are. Oh, that's tasty. Better tequila, though. The last 3 cocktails that we did, the other thing that is different from sort of a more standard margarita is the more flavored syrup, the better it covers up the flavor of the tequila. So I would also tend to lean toward a cleaner margarita and letting the flavor of the tequila come through. And if your restaurant only serves you fancy fruit-flavored margaritas, there is a decent chance that they're not using a high-quality tequila for those. And so they're taking the more bitter notes, the unattractive, more heavy alcohol notes of the tequila, and they're disguising them around pineapple or other flavors. But we use higher quality tequila here, and having it not shine through is kind of a shame. So be careful on what kind of tequila you use with your flavored margaritas. That's all I'm saying. I'm going to stick to that and shut up and make another drink. How's that? So this is the Vicious Version. Okay, stop. This is the Vicious Virgin number 2, and it comes to us from the Pago Pago cocktail bar in Tucson, Arizona. A cocktail bar around in the 1960s. I believe it is no longer there. And I thought this was especially appropriate to do today, not just because it has tequila in it, because last week we did a drink from Disney that's called the Pago Pago. So doing a drink this time from the Pago Pago Cocktail Lounge just kind of makes sense, right? There's a theme here. So I know nothing about the Pago Pago in Tucson, whether it was any good, but it was around at the height of Tiki, so who knows? Maybe it was good, maybe it was awesome, I don't know. We are going to do another cocktail, though. Wait, I already have one. I don't need to. All right. I'm gonna jump down and add a sour component here because I want to make sure that I've got enough of my sour component, which is the lime juice. This should be plenty. I need 3/4 of an ounce, but I just want to be careful. Make sure I got enough, because if I don't, then I want to squeeze it and get it taken care of and that sort of thing. That sort of thing.
So Colleen asks, I would need a super sweet syrup to use up her not so great tequila?
I don't think you need a super sweet syrup, but pretty much any 2-to-1 syrup that has a fruit profile to it will probably do it. Even the hibiscus, which isn't really a fruit-forward syrup, does blunt the notes of the bad tequila. So, or not so good tequila. So yes, yes,
And Brooke says instead of lime and salt with tequila, try orange and cinnamon. Amazing. And traditional from mezcal shots.
yes.
Or you also do orange and chili.
Orange and a chili pepper mix that trying to remember the name of it, begins with a T. Begins with a T. The name of the stuff that they rim the glasses with. I don't remember. Yeah, totally drawing a blank here. Alden Brown loves to use it. Was used in the last episode that we saw of Iron Chef America. Yeah, so I'm just total blank. Total blank. It's a spice mixture. Anyway, all right. So there is 3/4 of an ounce of lime juice. So let's go and do our sweetener now. And for the sweetener, the first sweetener that we're going to use is a 1/2 ounce of homemade orgeat. Tagine, yes, tagine. That's what I was thinking of. Okay, 1/2 ounce. Naps are great. Recovering from naps can sometimes be a little problematic. We were intending to get up early this morning and go grocery shopping and come back in time to set things up here at the bar and play some Clank Legacy with friends and have everything all taken care of and be ready to go, ready to rock. And then we didn't go to bed until like 2 in the morning. So okay, whatever. That kind of ruined those plans. We did get everything done, but that kind of prompted the nap, I think, this evening, and having a early evening nap, I think just makes me want to just go to sleep. So anyway, what are we doing? So 1/2 ounce orgeat. And then the next sweet component is, dun dun dun, we're going to add orange liqueur to this, blue orange liqueur, and that's blue curacao. We want 1/4 ounce of the blue curacao. I'm betting this drink comes out more greenish than it does blue, though. There's the blue. We've already added one of the sour components, and that's lime juice. So now we're going to add the other sour component, which is grapefruit juice. Ocean Spray, 100% white grapefruit juice. Comes in a can, but look, you can't get white grapefruit juice throughout most of the year fresh. So this is about your next best way of approaching it. And yes, white grapefruit juice is the way to go if you are building authentic tiki cocktails true to the old recipes, because that is what they had back then. Pink grapefruit juice didn't come around until much later. Not much later, but somewhat later. Okay, so there's the lime juice. Lime juice. Grapefruit juice. I was already looking down at the menu going, lime juice is next, but I've already added the lime juice. Wait, did I add enough of the lime juice? Yes, that's right. I did add 3/4 of the lime juice because I was very low on lime. I was like, okay. 1/2 ounce orgeat. 1/4 ounce blue curacao. 1.5 ounces of grapefruit juice. 3/4 ounce of lime juice. And now we're going to go 3/4 of an ounce of a light rum and 3/4 ounce of a light tequila. So, what are we going to do for a light rum? Well, Smith & Gross? No, that's not a light rum. What we have up here that qualifies as a light rum, the only thing I've got up here is the Ronde Barrilito, which I guess we can do that. That would be fine. Sure. Maybe. There we go. So 3/4 of an ounce of a light rum. By light rum, what we generally mean by a light rum is anything that has been column distilled and lightly aged. So 3/4 of an ounce. Light rum essentially means stay away from anything that is pot stilled, that has those funkier pot still flavors to it, and stay away from anything that has been pretty heavily aged. Now, the Ronde Barrilito does have a little bit of age on it, as is obvious from the fact that it is not a perfectly clear liquid here. I also happen to know Ronde Barrilito is not, they do not add coloration into it except to even out the color. So that's not where that color is coming from. And then we need 3/4 of an ounce of tequila, and they specify a light tequila, and we are going to go with Terramana, small batch tequila, and Terramana is the brand of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, and we both kind of love The Rock, so we're going to use that. This is one of our base house tequilas. You know, if we want a young tequila, we're pretty much reaching for the Terramana. Unfortunately, I don't have any more bottles of the Terramana, so we're going to have to add that to the shopping list for this week. Well, we don't need it for this week because I'm not serving anything tequila-based at the party. Okay, so where we go? 3/4 ounce. There's 3/4 ounce of the Terramana. There we go. Crunch. Yeah, that's so totally going to turn out green. That's right. Green's fine. Just because you add blue curacao, don't expect your drinks to be blue. If you add almost any other color to it, especially if you add yellow, you're going to wind up with green. And by yellow coloration, you know, the creamy color of the almond roca is probably good enough to do that. So, hence some level of greenness in here. Wow. I tend to forget just how powerful my homemade orgeat is. So I'm really getting the orgeat flavor off of this, even though there's only a 1/2 ounce in there. So I need a glass to put this in. What should I put this in? What do you think? One of these guys? Sure, why not? We'll do one of those. We're going to strain it. Doing a lot of so I need to stop that. Kind of an ugly green color. Kind of a really ugly green color. Now, the instructions for this do say shake and then strain into a glass. They don't say anything about adding ice. The picture I saw of one does in fact have ice in it, so I don't know what the deal is. That is a...
That's a tiki drink that should be in a tiki mug.
I think that should probably be in a tiki mug. That's not a especially pretty color of blue, green, or I mean it's not gray like some of the tiki drinks are that you just really want to serve in a tiki mug. But here we go. This is the Vicious Virgin #2. And no, I believe there is a Vicious Virgin. Virgin. Not
You're having
version.
trouble with virgins?
There's so much trouble. Experience is so much better. This is interesting in the sense of I don't get a lot of melding of the flavors together.
No.
So, like that first taste that I had, I got orgeat from.
Mm-hmm.
This taste, I got much more, oh, that's grapefruit.
Yeah.
It's like I'm getting different flavors when I taste it, as opposed to, but I don't get an evolution of flavor.
No, it's like they're
sharply delineated.
Yeah. It's like the, what's that called? The spectrograph. You know, when you look at it, breaks it down into the
spectrum of colors.
Yeah.
When you're thinking of the Dark Side of the Moon cover, aren't you?
No, I'm thinking of like when they evaluate things and there's all the little lines.
Oh, spectrograph. Okay, all right.
And
mass spectrometer.
Mass spectrometer. Yeah. And so there's like the individual things and they're not together.
I'm going to bet that this drink is one of those that benefits from. Let's set this aside and garnish that, and then come back to it
Okay.
and serve
Okay.
it.
Okay.
And we'll see how that goes. So let that sit for a moment or two. I really want to add some bitters to it as well. It's like one of those, like, I think this needs some bitters to tie it all together. So we're going to come back to this in just a moment. I'm hoping there are questions because this
Your
was.
mom wants to know what has happened to the floating jellyfish.
The motor in the floating jellyfish died, and because there was therefore no ocean current within the tank, unfortunately, all our little plastic jellyfish died, and so we no longer have floating jellyfish. I'm sorry. Sorry to bring that bad news to you, but we no longer have a floating jellyfish tank that is functional. We do, in fact, have the because we're sentimental, we have the remains of our plastic jellyfish right here. There you go. There's one of our plastic jellyfish. So if we ever do get another motorized tank like that, we can put more jellyfish in it because we have them. Unfortunately, Star has not had the opportunity to do a lot of garage sailing this year because she's been doing sort of the opposite of garage sailing, which is doing an estate sale for somebody else and trying to get their stuff out. So rather than us bringing stuff in, we've been getting stuff out of somebody else's house, which coincidentally has also mean bringing their stuff over to our place. So we now have about, I used to say about a third of somebody else's house in our house, but now we have a quarter to an eighth of somebody's house in our house. A lot of board games and that sort of thing. That we
Dana
need to...
says, and roast beef and blueberry pie. I'm guessing those are other things that were delivered to her.
Oh.
In addition to
I was going to say, I don't know that I could do a cocktail using roast beef and blueberry pie, but I'd be willing to try blueberry pie filling as a sweetener for a cocktail. I'm not sure that I want to do roast beef in any way, shape, or form as a cocktail. Maybe a thin stripe of roast beef wrapped on a skewer for not a margarita, a Bloody Mary. But I'm not a big fan of Bloody Marys. But I think that would actually be quite good, come to think of it.
So your mom says you could use the jellyfish as a garnish.
I could use the jellyfish as a garnish. They do say somewhere on them that they're not to be eaten, which I like. How stupid do Americans have to be? But that's okay. What's the meme going around that says, "Oh, so you think you're smarter than your forebears, right? Remember that their car manuals told you how to change the oil and how to do, how to change the head gasket and that sort of thing. And today's manuals say, don't drink the battery acid." It's like, okay, yeah, maybe we're a little more stupid.
Colleen said, could you just replace the motor in the tank? Probably. I tried to adjust the motor. I think getting a new motor would be more than what I paid for it at a garage sale.
Yeah, probably. We do have the tank lying back there because, well, we're pack rats and we don't get rid of anything. But, yeah, because that's us.
David says, we've been listening, but I was making pizza. Yum.
Yum. I can eat.
Dana says, the Willy Wonka.
The Willy Wonka. What about the Willy Wonka? What is the Willy Wonka?
I don't know. Is that reference to the...
Oh, is that the girl that
right.
that blows up into a great big blueberry? Whose name I totally don't remember, but
yeah, Amanda says sounds like a 3-course gum from Willy Wonka.
Okay. I tossed in a candied orange peel in this just because I felt like I wanted to have something in it. Now we're going to taste it again. So it's been a few minutes, right? This is the pooch you should learn. Let your drinks sit for just a few minutes before you serve them. Hopefully the flavors will have melded together, merged together. Yeah, just the scent of this really wants me to add bitters to it.
Violet Beauregard.
Violet Beauregard. We do have a street near us named Beauregard because we live in the South. And
as opposed to Beauregard.
Beauregard off Blowfish. But you can't just say Beauregard. It is Beauregard. Yes. That's actually, that got better. That melded together kind of nicely. Star, do you want to give this another whirl? See what you think? But still a little heavy on the grapefruit, I think. I'm trying to think what bitters would go well in this.
Brooke says my mic is not working,
Oh no,
so I don't know. It is on. So
it is on. We're getting good
signal.
good signal.
That's better,
Mhm.
but still not my.
Cup of tea.
Yeah.
Well, you're not a big fan of virgins either, right? So there you go. What was I thinking in terms of bitters with this? I was thinking maybe the barrel aged vanilla bitters.
Ooh.
For some reason, I'm thinking either those or the magnolia bitters, one or the other. What do you think?
I think the barrel aged
Vanilla,
vanilla.
which is right here.
Okay.
Right. This comes to us. This is also El Guapo, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
This comes to us via Zach and Amy as well.
Oh, excellent.
Yep. There we go. Sure. So this is our barrel-aged Vicious Virgin. Do I have bar spoons that I could do that with? Yes, but then I'd have to clean up another utensil. Right? So, or she would, one or the other.
That's better.
That's such an improvement.
Yeah.
It is amazing what just a few dashes of bitters will do to a cocktail. That's so much better.
Yeah.
So,
I wonder if my mic just wasn't close enough.
I don't know.
I don't know.
There was a green light and now it disappeared. I don't know. There's a green light again.
Who knows?
I don't know what mine's doing. Mine's down here.
Yeah, yours is down in your pocket.
But I've got the lavalier head here. Hopefully the sound has been okay, aside from all of that. So I hope you've had a good time. We've played around with some tequila, making a variety of different margaritas, some more successful than others. But it just goes to show you that you can take a base recipe and play around with it. Your initial couple of tries may not be all that great, i.e. the lime cordial margarita and the pineapple citric acid margarita. Not the greatest things in the world. The hibiscus tea was a bit of a winner, still needs some balancing act to it. And then we finished up with the Vicious Virgin number 2, which once again reiterates the hold off on serving the cocktail to your patron. Give it a moment or two to bring the flavors all together. And also reiterating that very few drinks can't be improved by the judicious application of some form of bitters. You just have to be very careful about which bitters that you're going to use. For instance, I could have reached for the Hella bitters, the ginger bitters here, and made this drink entirely undrinkable for Star, although I probably would have liked it. It would have been okay.
So Fuji sound has been good. Star was a little quiet at times. But
that's so not normal. Star being quiet, right? In terms of mics, okay. Anything else? How did we do? Give us feedback in the comments. Let us know. Let us know what you would like to do in the future. Give us guidance. Steer us in the right direction. And, we are Love Craft Cocktails. We love making craft cocktails for you, and you should make some for yourselves. So we're going to sign off because it's right about the time that we should be signing off. Nope, I went 10 minutes over because I started talking about other things. So I was right on time and then blew it. So, oh well. You stayed with us. That's what's awesome. And thank you again for tuning in and listening to me blather on about cocktails, particularly on days like National Tequila Day. We unfortunately missed National Daiquiri Day, which was sometime earlier last week. And we should have done that. But we didn't. So that's all right. We have enough daiquiris around here to celebrate National Daiquiri Day pretty much any day of the week that we want. So I'm going to sign off, say goodbye to all of you. Have a great week, and don't work too hard, or try not to work too hard. And we will see you next week. And then we have a special treat for you the week after that. It is going to be a remote location. I will be broadcasting to you 2 weeks from today from Kentucky. Yep. No, I'm not on my own, and no, I'm not going there for fun. So, yeah. So it'll be fine. It'll be okay. We'll be fine. All right. I will talk to you all later next week when we do episode 119, tentatively named. I don't know yet. So
Party aftermath.
Party aftermath. That's right, because we will be doing a party, and so we will have an aftermath, and we'll show you. Maybe we'll show you all the things that we have left over from the party, because invariably we have too much stuff. So talk to you all later. Bye-bye. Ending live video now and taking a drink from this wondrous, vicious virgin number 2 in a moment. There we go.